Welcome. This is the instruction and setup video for the 3-in-1 training module. There are two side rails. One has an angle iron stop plate and a stop bar, which are attached to the side rails with two bolts. The other side rail has pre-drilled holes and also has the hinges to attach the door. Two short rails are the top and bottom of the frame and attached to the side rails. The unit also comes with a base and two red support arms. To begin assembly, find the short rail with the vertical score line. Match this to the side rail edge, which also has a vertical score line. Match the two ends and push together. Next, attach the 2.5-inch bolt, push through, and attach the nut on the other side, hand tight. On the opposite end, match up the horizontal score line in the short rail with the horizontal score line on the end of the long rail. Match the two ends together and again insert the 2.5-inch bolt hand tight with the nut on the opposite side. On the underside of the rail there's a hole to accept the 1-inch bolt and washer. Screw in this bolt hand tight and do the exact same thing on the opposite end. Lay the partially assembled frame upright and lay in the opposite rail as shown. You will notice on the bottom edge of the side rail there is a threaded opening. This will match the opposite side of the short rail. This threaded hole corresponds to the end of each side rail. Lay the frame on the floor and again install the 2.5-inch bolt and nut. Insert the 1.5-inch bolt and washer. Do this to both ends. With the frame upright, tighten all bolts using a ratchet and a wrench. Do this on all 6 bolts. With the frame on a flat surface, install the bottom end of the frame into the center of the frame base. At this point, make sure the side holes in the bottom of the frame match the side holes in the base. Insert the 1-inch bolts through the base into the side rails and tighten with a wrench. Match the end of the support arm with the threaded hole at the edge of the base and install the 1-inch bolt and washer. On the other end of the side rail, install the 3-inch bolt through the frame about 1/3 of the way up on the frame itself. Attach this bolt hand tight. Do the exact same procedure on the opposite side of the frame, and when you are finished, tighten all bolts with a wrench. Up to this point, now that you have the frame and the stand put together, it's time to mount the door. Take the door and you align it with the hinges. Grasp the door securely and line up the pins. Make sure the door closes properly. Next step will be to mount the power jamb in the door. Line up the power jamb with the cutout and slip it into place. Make sure that the power jamb is securely butted against the 2 weld points in the back. With the power jamb now in place, insert the 2.5-inch bolts through the front. From the back of the unit, screw on the nuts provided. Do this on all 3 bolts. With the ratchet, tighten down the nuts and secure the power jamb to the door. Next is to insert the springs into the unit. Slide one spring on the bottom and make sure it lays over the flat pin on the inside, and the upper spring on the flat pin in the back of the unit on the top. Next, we take the inner box and slide it into place with the bolt facing outward. In the center hole, we take the 3-inch bolt and slide it through to the opposite side of the unit. Okay. From the opposite side, we place the washer and the nylon locking nut and tighten down till it just touches the back of the unit. At that point, we untighten it 1 full turn. This bolt and nut should spin freely in order for the unit to work properly. Once the power jamb is in place on the door and the nuts are tightened, close the unit and make sure that the bolt aligns with the hole in the jamb. Next, we take the case hardened nut in the instructions and we place it into the cutout hole on the bolt. This nut can be tightened down to hold the bolt in place before forcing. To set up the power jamb for forcible entry, you're going to slide the inner bolt in approximately 1.5 inches into the jamb. This will leave you about a finger's width between the end of the bolt and the head of the bolt itself on the locking pin. Next, you take a ratchet and you tighten down on the locking bolt. The unit is now secure and ready for forcible entry. The next step will be to insert the carriage bolt into the square hole on the top of the frame. From the opposite side, we're going to place the pressure plate over the end of the bolt and screw on the wing nut provided. When the unit is being used for forcible entry inward opening, this is pivoted horizontal and locked down. It's not used for outward opening use. It is left in the vertical position when you're forcing from the outward opening side of the unit. Lastly, to set up the power jamb, once it's all aligned and properly installed, is to screw on the front door knob. In order to set up the unit for ram jamb use, there's 2 steps involved. First, you must remove the inner box and place the ram jamb into the unit, and also change the front stop plate. In order to set up the ram jamb for use, loosen the locking nut on the power jamb unit and slide the locking bolt back. Open the unit up, remove the 3-inch bolt that's in the slot that's holding the inner box. Pull the inner box out and remove the spring. Now take the ram jamb unit with the diamond plate facing forward of the unit, slide it in place. You'll notice on the front of the ram jamb diamond plate, there's a hole that will line up with the main unit. Slide the 3-inch bolt directly through the entire unit and the diamond plate to the opposite side. Secure with a washer and nut. And tighten with a wrench. Make sure that when you close the unit, the angle iron is pushed in and aligns with the back jamb. In order to set up the ram jamb stop plate for forcible entry use, first we must remove the power jamb stop plate. Move the top bolt and loosen the bottom bolt. The unit should now swing down. Next, we take the ram jamb stop plate, which has a wider fin on it, and insert a bolt through the top hole in the frame. Then insert a bolt in the bottom hole that lines up with the frame. In order to set up the locking plate for the ram jamb, take the case hardened bolt, which is a gold bolt, and slip it through the center hole for the back of the unit. Next, place the locking plate with the spindle on it up against the angle iron. Thread on the nut provided and tighten with a wrench. If the unit is secured properly, the door should lay up against the front plate and not have much play in it. The Halligan will end up in this spot here and you will force the door as if you're using a baseball swing.